What is the worst thing you have done because you got confused between items in different hands? Rolled a blueberry and ate the dice. Licked the lid of my yogurt, then threw the full yogurt pot in the bin with the spoon inside. Put a wad of tissues in the laundry basket and threw my socks into the toilet. I went to go and put a scoop of cat food in the washing machine drawer once. I too like my clothes to smell of fancy feast. Stuck a dog treat in my mouth and gave my dog my popsicle. She was thrilled. How'd the treat taste? It was unpleasant. This was back in the day before all the gourmet dog treats. A good old Kirkland dog biscuit. Dog treats aren't unpleasant anymore. I ate one yesterday out of pure curiosity. It was cheddar flavored and tasted like a chalky Cheez-It. Was drinking a hot cup of coffee on the back porch while throwing a ball for my dog. To be fair, it was like 4 a.m. and the pup wasn't hurt. But my favorite mug got rearranged and the tree got some dirty bean water. I did something similar. My dog drops his ball in his dish before coming in. Usually I toss his ball then fill his dish in the morning. After a long night with a sick child, I stepped out, looked in the bowl, and flung his breakfast scoop into the yard. The grass just looked hungry is all. It's important to feed Mother Nature, LOL. He got a new breakfast in his bowl, then grazed like a sheep for the rest of the morning. When I'm snapping the ends off the green beans, sometimes I throw the bean in the trash and the end in the bowl. Not too funny, but at least it's true. I do this all the time. Or if I have two piles, one of the snapped off ends and one of the actual beans, sometimes I'll get confused and end up with a mixture of the two. Then I'll have to go sorting through the piles. This is the most boring story I've ever told Reddit. Phone in one hand, open Pepsi bottle in the other, threw the wrong one on my bed. 911. Yes, I drank my phone. Also sorry for the call quality. It's becoming clear to me from this thread that humans holding a cup in one hand and literally anything in the other hand is a recipe for disaster. Autopilot is a hell of a drug. It doesn't happen often, but getting to witness another person's autopilot failure is one of the great small pleasures in life. There was an instance in the NBA where Russell Westbrook just started walking up the court with the ball under his arm. When play was stopped because of the violation, his opponent, Steph Curry, said, "What are you doing?" And Russ's response was, "I don't know." Dipped my tortilla chip in water. Still better than a toast smoothie. Threw a glass of water on my bed instead of a book. Why were you going to throw water on a book? The book was Dune. The book was catching fire. Dune is amazing. Also, Arrakis really needs some water. I have put the house phone in the fridge and left the milk out more times than is healthy. The fridge is now the default first place I look if the phone is not on its cradle. My friend, I am genuinely worried. He needs a carbon monoxide detector, and to get rid of all those sticky notes. Love this reference. A couple minutes ago I unwrapped a stick of gum, stuck the wrapper in my mouth, and threw the gum in the trash. Did you end up eating the gum? I just grabbed a new stick. Rich guy over here with 2 sticks of gum. I wish someone paid me in gum. I had a cup of coffee and a little single-serve container of coffee cream. I opened the cream container, poured its contents into the trash, and then dropped the empty container into my coffee. Before coffee fugue is a real problem. The other day I tore open a packet of sweetener, almost poured it in the trash, took milk out of fridge, got coffee in the mug successfully, went to put milk in fridge without pouring any, realized, opened it and almost poured milk into the bottom shelves of the fridge. You are so correct about the fugue. A while back before coffee I opened the Tupperware cabinet and stared inside for a good minute wondering why I couldn't find ice cubes. When I was 10, I was watching TV and had the remote in one hand and a cup of hot tea in the other. My dad came in and asked for the remote. Instead of tossing him the remote, I threw my cup of tea and it went all over him. The next morning his chest and legs were red. Imagine asking for the remote and getting third-degree burns instead. Now he knows not to challenge you for the remote. Great way to establish dominance. Did your dad beat the tea out of you or not? Tried to put an M&M in my ear and my Galaxy Bud in my mouth. Crunch. Frick, were you listening to Eminem? I was writing while drinking Coke. I ended up stabbing myself in the face with a pencil. Okay, but did you draw with your Coke? Probably made some pretty straight lines, boyfriend. I snorted. I once picked up my toothbrush and then, instead of picking up toothpaste, I picked up a tube of cortisone. Luckily caught myself. I also once picked up a razor, instead of a toothbrush and just stared at it. Another time I poured water on the floor. instead of in the sink. Just imagine someone standing facing away from the sink, angling their glass of water downwards and just staring at the stream of water hitting the floor. Mom has done the same, but poured the glass of water into a dog cage my cat was chilling in. Cat didn't move, but stared at her like what the frick? Edited to add. Thanks so much for my first gold. Makes me so happy to see people thoroughly enjoy me and my mother's weird fit smiley. I also once picked up a razor instead of a toothbrush and just stared at it. These are the best moments, especially when you forget what you were planning to do in the first place. Suddenly you have a random object in your hand and you have no idea why. Mom has done the same, but poured the glass of water into a dog cage my cat was chilling in. That pool cat. Friend of mine once put the remote control in the oven and then wondered why he found himself in the living room holding a sausage. Remote control was destroyed, and it had previously spent several days in the back of a freezer because of a similar incident. I think this is one of my favorite stories on here, LMAO. I cracked an egg, poured out the egg into the trash and put the shell into a bowl. Do you eat your eggs with or without the crust? My husband cleans the cat litter box and puts the gleanings in a tied-off plastic grocery bag. He also puts his lunch in a tied-off plastic grocery bag. When he goes to work he takes both bags outside. One to come with him and one for the trash can. Mistakes have happened. You should get him a lunchbox for his birthday. Must have made for interesting conversations. She, how was lunch? He, tasted like catacorn. That can't be a happy surprise when lunchtime comes around. I was studying my notes which were in a notebook while also following lecture slides on my iPad. I tried zooming in my notes. Happened many more times throughout the sem. I didn't know how to write a certain word and was waiting for the red underline to appear on my sheet of paper to show me correct spelling. This was my brother, but I was on the receiving end. We were at a country club for a wedding one evening and there were various backgammon games set up. This happened so long ago I don't even remember how to play backgammon anymore. But it was my brother's turn and he was excited. So excited he slammed his glass of bourbon down on the game board and thrust the dice cup full of dice into his mouth. Totally worth being covered in watered down liquor to witness such buffoonery. This actually made me laugh out loud. This reminds me of Scully drinking from his thumbtack mug. Threw away $5. Tried to pay at cash register with candy wrappers. I'm cracking up. What did the person behind the counter say? I knew them pretty well. Same shop I'd been going to all my life, so I started laughing embarrassed and explained what happened. Never got the $5 back though. Well, that story is worth a lifetime of smiles, so maybe it wasn't a total loss. Threw my keys into the recycle bin and attempted to start my truck with a crushed Monster can. Monster truck. Drank paint water and, whilst washing my brush and my cup of tea, 2 simultaneous frickups. This is the kind of fear I always have when painting. Imagine the disaster if you were using oil paint solvents instead of water. I grabbed my banana instead of the conductor's baton on the music stand as I began conducting the orchestra and chorus during a rehearsal. The musicians followed the banana very well, as if it were intentional on my part. Some thought the curve aided in making the performance more expressive. I laughed out loud, and kudos for being respected so much that you are taken seriously while conducting with a banana. I had a cup of coffee and a scented candle. I drank the candle. I had a lens cleaner spray in one hand and a mouth freshener spray in the other. Guess what I did? Killed a family of 4 and got a new identity? Well, he did say yes. I dipped my chips in the water, had a little I'm such a dumbass moment in my head, then proceeded to drink the salsa. When I was in college, our wind ensemble went to China right after I graduated. They took us to an American-style restaurant one day and this guy filled up an entire soda cup with soy sauce because he thought it was soda. Computer keyboard under one hand, PS4 controller in other. Wondering why what I'm typing in computer won't show in PS4. Put my box of cereal in the fridge on my gallon of milk on top of it. Stayed that way unnoticed for almost 24 hours. Disposing leftover bones into the trash and placing the plates into the sink. I grabbed the bones with my hand and tossed the plates into the trash bin and started washing the bones before realizing what I've done. Only in one hand, but poured a drink onto myself that I was sipping through a straw. Funny enough, I threw my phone in the trash just this morning and realized only after dumping the trash into my clothes bin. This isn't a mixed up hand story, but it's in the same vein. So one day after delivering an order, Whilst on my former pizza delivery job, I was walking back to my car. As I walked, I took my car key between my fingers, and my brain told my hand, "Okay, hand, the next thing you're going to do is insert the key into the ignition to start the car." And my hand was like, "Okay, word, I got this." Then as I sat down in the car, my brain said to me, "Panhead09, you should probably take your phone out of your pocket and charge it before starting the car. The battery is getting low." And I said, "That's a good idea, brain. You should pass it along to my hand." And my brain said, "I think I'll do just that." So my brain relayed this message, which had to pass through my arm. And as the message was about at my elbow, my arm said, "Charging the phone? Got it. I'll get this process going." And so my arm started moving to get my phone out of my pocket. But here's the thing. My arm started moving before the new message made it to my hand. So while my arm was all excited, going, "Oh yeah, that phone is gonna get so charged," my hand was still in its own little world, thinking, "Insert the key and turn on the engine. Insert the key and turn on the engine." Anyway, that's how I ended up stabbing myself in the leg with my car key. Eating sandwich at beach, skipping stones, watching the sunset, and thinking about life. Throw sandwich into ocean, bite rock. People saw. This is just incredibly funny to me, because skipping stones is called kastamaka in Swedish, and that literally translates to throwing sandwiches. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button and leave a comment which story you liked the most. Subscribe and hit the bell notification for updates on our latest videos. And don't forget to check the links in the description box for more awesome content.